Hello and welcome to the podcast. My name is Alan.
And my name's Jay.
And today we're talking about speaking part 3.
Wow, I think it's the most difficult part.
Why is it the most difficult part?
Well, I think you have to discuss abstract ideas.
That are unfamiliar to you. Yeah. In this part, you're not talking about yourself, you're talking about your opinion.
Right. The questions are going to be impersonal.
And abstract, as you said.
Okay. So the examiner is testing your ability to develop a certain topic.
Yep, they're testing your use of precise vocabulary based on the topic and your control of grammar to develop your ideas and signposting language to develop those ideas.
So you really have to develop your ideas using some kind of structures.
And that's what we're going to focus on today.
OREO. So O-R-E-O.
That's opinion, reason, example, and provide an other opinion.
Right.
Let's get into it. Okay, let's look at a topic and go through this system.
Okay, so we have an example here. Do you think young people should work while studying?
So for the opinion, we need to say our answer directly and then paraphrase the question. So my answer, yes, I think that young people should have a part-time job during their studies. Next, we need to talk about are. Are is the reason. So why do I think that students should work while they study? Well, I think they need to work while they study because this will give them work experience and prepare them for the real world.
So the next one is E, example. Here you can use some simple phrases to, give an example. Like, for instance, like, such as, or for example. I would say something like, in Vietnam, for instance, many students find part-time jobs such as tutoring, working in a cafe, to support their education. And they can also learn some soft skills along the way, such as communication skills or teamwork.
Then the final part of OREO is O. And this is to show other people's opinions, to debate the topic. So you could use phrases like, I think that, however, other people disagree with me, and they think ABC. For example, whereas I think that students should have a job, lots of people don't think that way, and they think that students need to focus on their education completely.
Why? Then you go back to
OREO.
the reason and the example.
They think that because an example of why they think that is...
And then that's it. We get a complete answer.
So now we're on to the section where we practice this system for real. So, Mr. Việt Anh, is it better to live in the countryside or the city?
Personally, I think living in the city is better than living in the countryside for most people, especially the young generation. The reason for this is that I think the city offers better education, job opportunities, and healthcare. For example, in Vietnam, a lot of young people are moving to the city to find a high-paying job. Well, even if you get sick, you can always find advanced hospitals with specialists that can help you and you can rely on. And this might not be the case in remote areas. That said, some people prefer living in rural areas, especially the old, when they retired. But I think overall, I think it's just better to live in the city. So Alan, do you think people should retire at 65?
So, in my personal opinion, yes, I absolutely think people should retire at 65, at least by 65. I think that most people would prefer to retire much earlier than that. The reason is so that they can get on with their life and they don't have to spend their time working for someone else. They can do things that they enjoy. For example, I see that a lot of people want to retire as early as possible. They try to build passive income. This is when they own houses and they rent it out, and people have become obsessed with this trend. On the other hand, there are those people who do enjoy their job and may never want to retire. The perfect example of this is Donald Trump. He's almost 80 years old now, and he's still trying to make America great again. However, I think he should retire. Okay, that concludes our podcast episode for today. We hope you've enjoyed our advice on using OREO to extend your answers and get a better score.
And that's just one way. We have way more strategies for you in the upcoming episodes. So,
like and subscribe so you stay up to date with the best advice on IELTS.